Hello, Theater is Evil. I have a new episode of Comic Reviews of Fate, and they're, of course, brought to you by my own comic book, Red Knight. Issue 4 is out. All 4 issues are available on my Lulu page. It's now also available on the primalpapercomics.com page. And issue 5 is coming out soon. Very soon. More details about that soon. Alright, now, comic reviews, and these are a mixture of some of last week's issues. I'm playing a lot of catch-up. Sorry I haven't been doing too many videos lately. I've been busy. So let's get going with Hawkeye number 2. And this is by Matt Fraction and David Aja. And this issue involves a lot of his relationship with Kate Bishop, who, if you aren't too familiar with Kate Bishop, when Hawkeye died a few years ago, he was replaced by a female Hawkeye. And they've kind of been sort of working together lately. And I don't think she has a name besides Hawkeye 2, Electric Boogaloo. But I think, I don't know, can she call herself Bishop? Oh wait, there is a Bishop in Marvel. Jesus Christ, all these fucking names are taken. Maybe she should just call herself Kate Bishop and just be done with it. Fuck it, I'm Kate Bishop. Anyway, the first page opens up with this exciting action sequence, which later we see. And then flip to the Daily Bugle's best headline ever. Everything awful. Dear God, someone do something. Anyway, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are kind of practicing getting together, and they have an investigation going on to this big giant building that's about to open up in the World Trade Center area and this whimsical Cirque du Nut or something like that. But it turns out that it's the crime circus, you know, led by the ringmaster, the Circus of Crime. And this is so funny. It took me a few pages to get that this was the ringmaster. It's like, oh yeah, he's got the thing on his hat. I loved it. And some of his dialogue, his French dialogue is French stuff, maybe some Italian. And of course, yes, they're ripping off all these rich and powerful people who are actually more kind of on the shady side of the Marvel Universe. You know, the Kingpin is here, and I think Hammerhead and a few other powerful criminals are here. So, boy, they're taking a big chance ripping off a whole bunch of people. So Hawkeye and Kate Bishop rip them off, and wow, what an exciting sequence. I won't really get into too much, but the art is fantastic. All these, you know, huge panel layouts really keeps the pacing of the action. The dialogue between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop is just wonderful. I want them to be a team. They work fantastic together. This is a fantastic comic. 2 issues in, I'm ready to say I love this book. It's on my pull. I can't wait to read the next issue. 5 Ram Chips. I highly recommend it. This is Daredevil territory, how good it is. Totally recommend it. Now, over at Avengers XMen, issue 11, we're getting pretty close to the end, and I think I see where things are going here. I don't want to really give too much away, but the issue is, by the way, written by Jason Aaron, Brian Michael Bendis, Ed Brubaker, Matt Fraction, and Jonathan Hickman. And Brian Michael Bendis does the script for this issue. Olivia Coppel does the art. And it opens up with this cool sequence where Captain America is meeting with the Hulk and asking his help and being very nice about it. And I sometimes wonder why they don't do stuff like this more often. Like, hey, you know what? We're cool. We need your help, please. And let's see. We also see Rogue. Rogue has basically gone rogue. And she has left, you know, actually, there's been a mass exodus of the mutants from Cyclops' team, because now they've seen that, yeah, the power of the Phoenix corrupted them. Gee, go fucking figure. So they meet with Professor X, and they come up with a plan to attack. And I don't really want to talk too much. I actually think this has probably already been discussed, but I think a major character dies in this issue, although I always like to wait until the next issue, but it seems like a character does die. And wow, what a big, big battle. Essentially, Professor X is using his brain powers, I think that's what it's called, to make Cyclops think they're just chatting on the beach. And, you know, just happening to chat, you know, no big problem, nothing going on. Oh, the Avengers are fighting your guys, and, you know, oh, hey, you and me are just being cool. Oh, the art is beautiful. I love this artist a lot, and Magneto finally does pick a side. It's weird, since Cyclops and the other members of the Phoenix Five took power, it's weird seeing Magneto be their bitch boy. So that's finally come into play. And I really don't want to give too much away, but I know this has been fairly polarizing, I think, on a lot of Marvel fans. I think probably because I wouldn't be surprised because, yeah, if I was an X-Men fan, I'd probably be annoyed at some of the stuff that's been going on. And it looks like I have a feeling the X-Men teams are going to be really fucked up after this issue. So, now, after maybe issue 12, actually after the story, I'm willing to wager they're going to be in real terrible disarray. Hopefully nowhere to go but up, but right now it looks kind of bad. So I don't blame a lot of X-Men fans for being kind of irritated about this storyline. I still kind of enjoyed it pretty much. I'm going to give this 4 Ram chips. Here's the thing, I've really enjoyed the storyline so far, but nothing's really been out of the park exciting. You know, it's always been good, and that's kind of, well, to be honest, that's fine with me, but, you know, nothing has, like, had me, like, really excited. I haven't been jumping up and down going, America, fuck yeah! It's just been good. It's like, I read it and go, not bad. That is an adequate comic. 4 Ram chips. Now, let's take a look at another issue. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to read any of the 0 issues for this month, and I swore off anything DC, but I couldn't resist one 0 issue. Steed and Mrs. Peel. 0. Ha 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 ha! Gotcha there. Whatever. Mark Waid, and who is this artist here? Steve Bryant. Doing the art. Boom Studios has the rights to do a Steed and Mrs. Peel series. This is the beginning. And for those of you who don't know, it's the other awesome British series that has a sci-fi bent that started in the 60s. Known as the Avengers up until a week ago, I guess. Now it has to be called Steed and Mrs. Peel, which actually isn't too strange. Back in the 90s, another comic company did a Avengers miniseries written by Grant Morrison, and they had to change it from the Avengers to Steed and Mrs. Peel because, you know, the Avengers is kind of a thing here in America in comics. And that's where they're going with this one. You know, it gets the job done, and, you know, the name's pretty catchy enough. Which is unfortunate because, you know, Steed had some other female partners, so we can't really, I guess, use them in this series. But who cares? This is the most popular version of that team. Anyway, the story starts out with a character waking up in the world of tomorrow! The year 2000! Hey, remember the year 2000? How we had flying cars? Goddamn George Bush, he ruined everything! Anyway, it's a terrible trap that they're kind of, you know, tricking agents, and they actually have some kind of chemical to age them and shit like that. Anyway, Steed and Mrs. Peel starts on this investigation, and it's the Hellfire Club. Yeah, not the... Boy, I mean, okay, they have a Hellfire Club, they're called the Avengers, you could see where the confusion would set in. But anyway, this starts them into investigation. They're attacked by, you know, Father Time and stuff like that. We see a nip slip here from Mrs. Peel. And, let's see, Steed is sent to the future too, where he wakes up and he's old, and It's apparently some kind of chemical that makes you old, and he isn't even sure yet if that is just permanent or is it just temporary. But anyway, it catches the dialogue. Mark Waid's dialogue is pretty good here. He catches kind of the spirit of what made the Steve and Mrs. Peel relationship so good. And there was a lot of good banter between those characters. And my only quibble is the art is kind of static. It's not terrible at all. It's not bad. It's just not very interesting. And yeah, I mean, there are times where, you know, they do look like the actors, and that's great. But, you know, I'd rather have an interesting looking comic book. I know the Buffy books over at Dark Horse has that kind of like line of trying to, you know, walk, and it's very difficult. I think the Buffy books have done a pretty good job as far as keeping artistically the book looking interesting, and at the same time making the characters look like the actors. Although, to me, that's not the biggest important thing in the world, but I know everybody else thinks it's awesome. But it's okay. I may buy another issue, because I really like these characters and I really like Mark Waid, but I don't know. It was a little underwhelming. I'd put it at 3 RAM chips. And lastly, I have over Image, It Girl and the Atomics. And it's a Mike Allred creation, but it is written by Jamie Rich and illustrated by Mike Norton. And last we left It Girl, she agreed to go into a experiment with Dr. Flem, and it was supposed to send her mind electronically across town, but she got kind of sidetracked, and now she's kind of going all over the place, trying to, you know, go from one area to another, and she doesn't know where the hell's going on. Meanwhile, we have the skunk getting more and more tempted to go back into crime. He has all these people trying to influence him, and he really doesn't want to go back. Meanwhile, our hero is trying to find her way home, and she actually gets attacked by some of her villains, actually. Not even sure what's going on, until she gets zapped back to her body. And meanwhile, we have, you know, the skunk dealing with, you know, the pressures of going back to super villainry. But it's a decent issue. I think I've sensed a small problem with this book is the creators are a little too mainstreamish, if that's a word. And this is Mike Allred's kind of, you know, crazy little world that, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody else besides him can, you know, work in this world artistically and as well as, you know, write. It's still enjoyable though. It's almost like it's a mainstream view into this world, which is interesting. It's not bad. I'm going to give it 4 RAM chips. Actually, that's more than not bad. It's pretty good. I'm going to keep reading this story arc, so I highly suggest you check it out too. I think that's it for now, so until then, push the button, Lindsay.